Hello and hi, everybody. Sorry for the delay, little technical difficulty there. I was just on the phone with Dima working it out, and we have successfully found ourselves here now. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to Rebirth, to Rebrand. I am so excited.
Welcome, everyone. As you are arriving, just drop in your name and where you are calling in from, because I see some recognized names on here, and I know we've already got a global audience. And I am here in sunny San Diego, enjoying the beautiful spring of the rebirth all around us.
Yes. So we have Hi from Australia. Welcome. So to begin, let us just say welcome to Rebirth, to Rebrand. My name is Carla Elizabeth Sampson, and I'm here with Dmitry Kozlov. And so for each and every one of you who are joining here today, we're going to invite you into a space of energy play here. And what I mean by that is that, we can always show up on different webinars and different experiences that we say yes to, and we can listen in and we can get a lot from a webinar, right? Many of us, probably every single one of us, has been on webinars and meetings and places where we gain a lot of information. But today, Rebirth to Rebrand is so much more than just gaining information. What I'm going to invite each and every one of us into is the agreement that we are here for not just information, but for innovation. We're here for implementation, and we are here for integration. And all of these pieces are about us being in our choice point of action and choosing to take the information that we learn here and to actually go out into the world and create something with it. Because that is what Dima and I are here to take a stand with you for, is to say yes to you going out into the world and actually being in your rebrand and being in your rebirthing. The rebirthing of who you are is the fullest expression of who you are. And the way we're going to bring in this integration, implementation, and action-oriented is we're going to actually invite you guys to be engaging with us in the chat. And when we engage in the chat, we're doing it for ourselves, right? When you engage in the chat, what I want you to notice is I want you to notice what you notice. So as you're listening to us, as you are bringing in this information, notice what you notice, because what you notice is going to be very unique and specific to you. And it's your intuition picking up on something. It's a little poke from the universe being like, this is for you. And so when you notice something that really stands out to you, I'm going to invite you to go ahead and drop it into the chat. So drop what you notice into the chat. And that's for you, right? Because then you're beginning to basically, when we write something or when we read something and then write it back in, it's us integrating that information into our beingness. But then on another level of that, other people who are in the chat with you are actually going to be able to read that chat and get to reread what you noticed. And it's going to help them to reintegrate it as well. So we're not just here for ourselves. We're in this rebirthing and rebranding portal for each other here. And so my invitation is, when you notice what you notice, go ahead and drop it into the chat. And there's also going to be other opportunities that Dima and I are going to engage with you guys and ask you to drop other things into the chat. Maybe it's a question or a contemplation. But as much as possible, we're going to invite you to really participate here. Don't just be a stander buyer. This is your rebirth process. And in your rebirth participation, you stepping into action is necessary, because a rebirth is not always just a feeling of like, okay, yes, I'm ready to rebrand myself. Yes, I'm ready. It's actually a decision, and it's a conscious choice to choose this for ourselves. And so let's just give it a practice here. If you are ready to fully rebrand into the fullest expression of who you are, and you're willing to say yes to being the living participant and the embodied participant who chooses to show up fully in your action, I'm going to invite you to drop a yes into the chat right here, right now. Who's with me? Let's drop yeses into the chat. All right. I'm seeing your yeses already coming through.
Yes, yes, yes. And know that as you engage and as we inquire and you answer, this chat also becomes your journal. And we'll do more of an exercise towards the end. And know that every answer that you provide, every answer that you share with others in the chat here will actually lead you to the beginning of defining and then refining your signature soul brand.
All right. I'm seeing your yeses in the chat. Beautiful. So why are we here?
So we invite you to contemplate as we start today. Be with the question, why are you here? You could think of that, why are you here today with us? Think of it, why are you here on this planet? Why are you here where you are in your life right now? Why are you here on Mother's Day? I know our moms are here witnessing this because they love us, they support us, and they get to see what we're up to and what we're sharing with the world. So welcome to Rebirth, to Rebrand, your journey into your signature soul brand. And actually drop in the chat, whatever comes alive for you. Why are you here? And we'll share our answer in a moment here. Why are you here?
Why are you here? Why have you chosen to be here?
And you could start with a simple answer. Because I want to learn. Because I'm rebranding. You could start with what you think your purpose is. Why are you here?
Mm-hmm. This is your intention. Why are you here?
Tatiana, to be of service. Zena, the timing seems to align with where I am now. I love it. Yes, we'll talk about timing too, as this conversation of rebirth into rebrand. Just rebirth alone, the world has been going through a rebirth. So many people we're speaking to, even major influencers and icons behind the scenes are going through a rebirth. Kai, to learn about branding. Yes, we'll definitely do that on probably a deeper level than anything out there. Ahmad, I want to learn more about the subject. Yes. To learn, Janice, to learn to let energy of the universe flow through me and to help other people. And if you're typing into the chat,
That's my mama.
oh, yes, yes.
I love that, Mom.
And if you're all typing into the chat invitation, do that little drop down. It says to hosts and panelists, and actually change it to everyone. So we're seeing some of your answers. We'd love for you to see each other's answers. So right above the message, but to everyone. Tatiana, thank you to learn from the best. All right, well, keep dropping those in, keep being with that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Maria, I'm here because I'm always looking for inspiration to fuel and fire up my expansion. Yes, Maria, I love it. So beautiful. All right, Dima, go ahead and let us know, why are we here?
Well, one thing is clear, you are here. We believe that you are here to be. You are here to be. Let's be with that. You are here to be you. No one else, nothing else. You are here to be you. You are here to be. You are here to be you. You are here to be you, to fully express. You are here to be you, to fully express. You are here to be you, to fully express your soul. You are here to be you, to fully express your soul. You are here to beautifully express your soul. And we are here with you as your guides and on this journey for ourselves. We are here to build a beautifully expressed world together. We're here to build a beautifully expressed world together. And that is our purpose here today. And that is our purpose for why we're here on this planet. Our pleasure to introduce ourselves, to be here with you today. I am Dmitry Kozlov. I am the founder and CEO, Chief Expression Officer at Influex. And I have the pleasure of partnering with and co-creating today, and for what you will see that we are birthing and rebirthing in the coming months with Carla Sampson, our brand director, brilliant brand director at Influex, and the founder of FemGenius Academy. And I'll share for a moment here on Influex first. And I know we have a community here, both from Influex and from all of our friends and from FemGenius. So we get to know each other's worlds through this. Influex, firstly, who we are is what we believe. We believe your brand is your stand, and this is our stand. So Influex is birthed from two words, influence and expression. Influex, influence plus expression. Because we believe that your greatest influence and your greatest impact and income comes through your fullest expression. Your greatest influence, your greatest impact on this world, and your greatest income, your abundance, comes through the fullest expression of who you are in your essence. That's our stand. And it translates into what we do. Our brand promise is we build beautiful brands and world-class websites that express your essence and amplify your authority. Beautiful brands that are beautiful, that get to the core of who you are and help you reach the people that you want to reach as the go-to authority in your space. And we've had the pleasure and opportunity to partner with FemGenius and Carla Sampson to bring forth what we're about to share today.
Yes. And so some of you I'm recognizing in the chat are coming through the FemGenius portal. I'm so happy to see each and every one of you, especially, you know, those beautiful ones that I've worked with for many years. I'm just so grateful to see you here again. And so FemGenius, we have a tagline, a ritual, an ethos that we live by. And this is that your purpose is your presence. Your mission is your mastery. We are here to embody our stardom and to take our sacred stages. I'm going to go to the next slide, Dima. And so what this means is, you know, in FemGenius Academy is that we create a really unique methodology through something that I'm actually now rebranding myself as what I call kinesthetic branding. And what this simply means is that we are here to become the walking, living, breathing embodiments of what we teach, of what we preach, of our message to the world, to really stand for and become that expression of our fullest selves. And we do this through our bodies. We do this through all of the holistic expression of our bodies, our minds, our visions coming together. I believe that everything starts from this body, that these bodies are such an expression of who we are. What is inside of ourselves is created as the outer reality of what we live. And so we take this experience of knowing that our internal world creates our external world, and we create this vision of who we desire to be, which then translates into who we become. And so that, my friends, is what we're going to be diving deep into today as we reveal more and more of what it means to fully rebrand as the signature soul brand that you are. And so this is about bringing all of your mini channels, all of your mini gifts, all of who you are, and all of what you are here to gift to the world as a beneficial presence. We want to bring that all into your one channel, which we call your signature soul brand. And this is the channel of your rebirth.
Right before we speak into why now and what's next, we'd love to hear from you. Drop in the chat who you are. And you could answer also, what do you do? What's your gift? What's your business? What's your gift? What's your promise? But just introduce yourself. And again, just do that little drop down, because we'll be seeing your answers to everyone, so you get to know each other.
Yeah. And while you guys are writing into the chat and letting us know who you are and your gifts and what it is that you're here to bring as the fuller expression of yourself, I'd love to talk a little bit, and I'd love, Dima, you to drop in here of why we have come together specifically at this time to create this experience of rebirth to rebrand. If you want to tell a little bit of that story, just so people understand and know, why have we decided to team up at this time?
Yes. Yeah. So first, it all started at Burning Man. And at Burning Man, Carl and I met on the last night of the burn. And we didn't meet through what we do. We didn't meet through talking about branding or our companies. We met through the full expression of who we are through our art. And I saw Carla perform and heard her lyrics come through as the artist that she is. And I was like, wow, this woman has the same energetic frequency in her lyrics and her artistry and her performance as I do, and that I hope to bring forth. I saw both an expression of myself and a vision that I desire to step into. And then I did the same on my end. I'm a spoken word artist, and I did some of my rap, and we resonated on that frequency as the fullest artistic expression of who we were. And then continued to get to know each other. And it wasn't until the next day or two that we discovered is, hey, by the way, what do you do in business? You mentioned business. And Carla answered, I design and refine personal brands for women. And this is what she just shared here was the deeper answer to that. And I was like, wow, I design and refine personal brands for influencers. And over the last 7 months or so, and counting, we've gotten to work on so many industry icons and brands together. And I discovered through that process, as Carla stepped in as the brand director at Influx, that she already had the course and program that she had birthed years ago called Signature Soul Brand. And so much of what we're doing now is the rebirth through Influx and FemGenius of Signature Soul Brand to bring that to the world.
And I'd love to put in a plug as well here, as when we live into the fullest expression of who we are, because what had been happening up until the point that I actually met Dima was I'd been really diving into my coaching work and diving into being of service and doing one-on-one coaching and running masterminds and doing this and doing lots of different styles of courses that were all around creating this fullest expression of the personal brand. But it wasn't until actually about 12 months prior to me meeting Dima that I felt this tinge inside of me. Like there was something more that wanted to be given to the world. Like there was a bigger, more full expression of myself just beyond my coaching and beyond the masterminds and beyond what I was holding for other people, that there was more of my expression that wanted to come through. And 12 months before I met Dima, I started diving into music and learning music and actually bringing one of my great gifts, which is words, through. And I created all of this music, and I wouldn't have ever met Dima had it not been for me choosing to bring the fullest expression of my music, my artistry, and my gifts into the world. And what happens, and what I know happens, and I've seen this happen with countless of my clients, is that when we do choose to bring the fullest expression of all of our gifts into our channel and into our brand channel, and we get brave and we get courageous and we choose to bring the fuller expression, because that's not always easy, right? Because there's those blocks, there's those fears, that's experience of what are people going to think, or how are people going to receive me as this next expression of myself. When we choose to give all of ourselves to our brand channel, and I'm saying all of it, like the fullest expression, this is when synchronicities happen in our lives. This is when those coincidences that are bigger than what we could ever expect, right? Because it wasn't until the next day that Dima and I even said to each other, hey, what is it that you do? And it just happened that we did something so similar, and all of a sudden realized that our gifts could align to bring something so cutting edge and revolutionary to the world. And so I'm just putting this plug for each and every one of you here who is watching, to know that when you bring the fullest expression of yourself into the world, you drop those limiting beliefs or those fears of what are people going to think, or how am I going to be perceived, or what's the understanding here? Because a brand is ultimately a perception of who you are. But as you give the fullness of yourself, you become the walking, living, breathing embodiment of your brand. And this creates the most beautiful expression of aligning you with whomever it is that you're meant to touch fully. And it's almost beyond, the strategy. It's almost beyond the brand strategies and the ways that we, learn through marketing and through brand strategy, how to bring our brand to the world. This goes so much beyond it, because we step into what I call your dream stream, which is you fully stepping into this alignment zone where you are so fully expressed as yourself, and you attract almost effortlessly an incredible community of connected people that stand for something so similar to you, attract into your world. And it is such a gift. And I'm so excited that we're here to bring you into this process where you can fully claim the fullest expression of yourself.
Yes. Aho. Yes. And can anyone resonate with what Carla just shared? Just type in yes if there's a part of you that, whether you've started to bring it in to your business and to what you do, or it's hiding way deep inside you, or anywhere in between, but there's a part of you you've wanted to bring forth and wanted to bring through into your business, into your brand, an artistic expression, a gift, a curiosity, but you haven't quite known how to fully do it yet, and how to have it fit into your business. Or that there's a fuller, deeper artistic expression within you that wants to come through, and that there's a greater, more expanded version of it available to bring into your outer world from your inner world. Yes. Yes. So why now? Why this matters more than ever now? First, we're living in an ever-changing, rapidly evolving world and economy. And if you look at the outside world right now, there's anything from the conversations of it's impossible to ignore AI and how rapidly technology is evolving. That's impacting all of our businesses in both positive ways and for some in more challenging ways. And then the economy. Some people are so excited about the changes, and there's also a lot of fear of recession and change and who's going to be the global superpower and all of these things. And with AI, there's the fear of, oh, does this take over my job? Does it take over certain service industries? Or does it help me do what I do better and offer more value? And then there's so many conversations out there, and it's so easy to get swept up in the trends and know that that's not going to slow down. So why this matters now is to build something that is everlasting in an ever-changing world. And we're hearing more than ever the conversation Carla was just sharing about herself, and that I've been navigating for myself as my own rebirth and my own rebrand into the fullest expression of myself, and facing all the fears along the way. And we're hearing this behind the scenes from so many major influencers and icons and people who are at the top of their game in business, that either what they're doing that's been working so well is no longer working so well, or what they're doing is still working so well, maybe economically for them, but isn't as fulfilling because they know there's a greater expression that wants to come through. And so this conversation is more relevant than ever. And why now? Because now is the time. And why now? Because now, if we don't, then all of the fears coming in from the outside world, they can take over. And those fears can be true. If we don't, as individuals and as a collective, step into what is truly ours to do and what gifts are truly ours to give. Because when we do, there is no technology or competition or changing economy that can take that from us. Because what we do becomes not so much of a job or even just a business, but it becomes our mission. And when it becomes our mission, then anything that's changing in the outside world is there in support of service to that mission.
I also want to say too, we've been talking a lot about this, and we predict that in the coming years, that a personal brand and a really authentic personal brand that doesn't just describe what you do, but actually creates the understanding of who you are, what you stand for, what your mission is, what you're here on the planet to give to the world. That understanding will actually replace a resume in the coming years. I truly believe that in the coming years, it will be who you are, what you stand for, your mission, that will be more important for employers. So even if you are not a business owner, which many, probably 100% of you guys are, but I believe that no matter what, no matter if the economy changes, no matter if circumstances in life change, as you are choosing in alignment with your brand and the expression of your fullest brand, who you are, what you stand for, your purpose, your mission, that this will actually be what is so magnetic about you, right? So it doesn't matter the outer world. What matters is your inner world. And this is your rebirth. This is your signature soul brand.
Yes. So with that, what you can expect for the rest of today is we'll go about another hour, and we're going to dive into some really juicy things that you can implement, that you can get insights from, that you'll see the expressed examples of how we're doing it behind the scenes. We'll pull you back the curtain a little bit on some of our process and how you can apply it, and what we're doing even for our own brands and what's next. And we'll particularly focus on two very core components of brand: your style, how to bring through what's in your inner world into your outer world, and how to create your brand style as both an expression of who you are and a manifestation of, through that style, you're stepping into more of who you are. And with message, we'll talk about and show you how to create headlines from the heart, and how to create a simple message that becomes your stand, because your brand is your stand, that also then attracts all the right people to you that you want to serve, the message for your movement, rather than just thinking through, what's the formula for the highest converting headline? Because guess what? ChatGPT can do that. And ChatGPT can also help with refining your message. And there are tools we'll talk about with AI that will talk about refining your style and helping express your inner world. But ultimately, all of this, as we'll walk through, has to come from you. And while it has to come from you, there is a process, there is a methodology, and that's what we'll share some examples of and have a lot of fun with. And then finally, we'll share our vision for what's next. You can have your guard down, open heart, open mind. We're not selling or pitching anything at the end of this webinar. We will have an invitation into some of what we're doing this summer, that we'll get to keep having this kind of fun together with our signature soul brand summer soul series, and sharing our vision for what we're birthing and what's next.
Yes. And thank you guys so much for writing in who you are, what you do into the chat. I've just been reading it, and it is so inspiring to see so many activated souls who are choosing their life's work, their life's mission. So just, yeah, so celebrating each and every one of you who is already on this path of choosing this for yourself.
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, my friends, what is a signature soul brand, right? You know, each and every one of us has dropped into the chat, and each and every one of us is here saying yes because we know that there's a bigger expression of ourselves. We know that there's something more, and probably something, whatever that something moreness is, that X factor that makes you this genius and actually allows you to stand out in the marketplace. That each and every one of us is choosing this for ourselves, and each and every one of us knows that there's a rebirth happening, right? And so a signature soul brand, something that I developed, around 5-ish years ago, was around the concept that I believe that a heart is to a body as a brand is to a business. Now, hear me out here. A heart is to a body. That means that your beating heart that circulates vital nutrients through the bloodstream to all of your vital organs. It is such an essential, it's the most essential organ in the entirety of the body, right? It brings in that oxygen, it sends it out into all of the body. So it's actually the vital organ that is energizing the entirety of your body. And so too is a brand, just like that for your business. A brand is what is the energizer of the entirety of your business. Because when you get so cohesive and clear on what the mission is, what the brand purpose and promise is, who you are and how to actually bring that into a physical representation through your colors, your fonts, your logos, the entirety of your website, your web presence, your social media, all of your channels. When you can know that, it actually energizes the entirety of your company, whether that be moving out into your company culture. So everybody on your team is in alignment with this particular brand and this character through your brand, because I believe your brand creates a character. It creates you as this power character, what I in FemGenius call your avatara, right? And so this signature soul brand is actually the beating heart to your company. And I believe now more than ever, it's so essential for us to bring heart and soul into business, to bring that energy, because the energy is what is magnetic, right? That artistry through your brand is what allows people to know who you are just from seeing something, a visual representation of who you are on the internet and beyond the internet, wherever you go as the walking, living, breathing embodiment of this. I believe that so many of us are also multidimensional. And when I say multidimensional, what I mean is we're multi-passionate, multi-purposeful. We have many gifts that we desire to give to the world. And so when companies and marketing companies are telling you to go ahead and just niche into one little tiny box, I believe that that's actually an outdated belief system now. That so many of us are choosing the heightened expression of who we are. And actually that soul essence of who you are can't fit into a box. How many of you guys agree with this? If you do, drop a yes in the chat. Your soul, your expression, your essence can't just fit into a tiny box of a niche, right? And so that is what a signature soul brand actually allows us to do. It allows us to merge outside of just one single tiny little niche that tries to put you in a box and define your soul. No, what it does, it actually allows us to bring all of these many gifts, all of these many channels, all of these many streams of what we can give to the world into what I call our one brand channel or our signature soul brand. This one brand channel, then from there, you can create multiple different companies. You can be an entrepreneur and you can put your energy into so many different companies. Maybe it's a product brand, right? Maybe it's a coaching brand. Whatever it is, you can actually put your brand into so many places, but it has to start from who you are, right? And so this is also what a signature soul brand, it brings your multidimensional essence into one brand channel that is recognizable throughout time and space, right? And so with that also being said, we believe that your brand, it's your inner world being expressed into your outer world, right? So it's less about what you do and it has to do with who you are. And I know many of you guys have heard that before, but from doing the work with so many of my FemGenius clients and doing the work with so many Influex clients, top level, top leading industry icons, what I have found is that each and every one of us has this world inside of us. And when we can understand that this world isn't just some fantasy land, and it's not just our imagination, yes, it's actually designed quite a bit through our imagination, but it's designed through what we love, right? Like this world that lives within us, it's what we love, and it's bringing that love into form. And so today, as we go through Signature Soul Brand, we're going to be getting into the identity of what it is that you love and this love that can be expressed to the outer world.
Yes. And through that, you create the world you wish to see. And that becomes your impact. And that becomes your stand, is bringing that inner world into your outer world. You express who you are and design a canvas for who you wish to become. And you express your inner world and design the world you wish to see. And when you do that, when you bring forth that vision, naturally you attract, right, customers and clients and media and PR and stage opportunities and team members and all the right collaborators to help bring forth that world, because they want a part of that world too. And they're clear on the world they wish to see. So you become a leader. Shall we go into a handful of examples and start getting into some of the how-to that you can actually implement right after this, and starting even through the conversations in the chat. And we're going to do some show and tell of how we're doing this currently behind the scenes for our clients, and how you can start doing it for yourself starting today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm thinking the next slide. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And you can keep going too. Yeah. So this is I just want to really, go back one. Thank you. Just this piece right here where, it's this channel that is you actually moves out, right? It moves out into every single channel being your social media channel, being your website channel. It's you getting to express the fingerprint and the blueprint of who you are fully. So you can keep on going with the slides. I think we just want to show just a few more here. Yeah, this part here. Your brand is your stand. Dima, before we show examples, I'd love for you to talk a little bit more about how our brand becomes our stand in the marketplace.
Right. So your brand is your stand. Your stand is what you believe in. Your stand is the world that you wish to see. Your stand is your values. As we shared earlier today, your stand is your purpose, your why. It's what do you stand for? And so actually just type in the chat as we go into starting some show and tell. What do you stand for? What's something that you believe?
Yeah.
Could be, what's the hill you're prepared to die on? What's something you wish to see in the world? What's your stand?
And also, like, what is it that you really want to say? So I'm not just talking about like what your brand has stood for up until this point, but like, what's the next thing that you really, like, if you are going to be really courageous and really step into your stand of what it is that you choose to say to the world, like this is the last day of your life, right? Like you have one more day on this planet to live, and you are ready to courageously share with the world what you really want to say, like, what would that be? What would that stand be? And then feel into, because sometimes it can feel a little edgy, right? It's like, wow, that would actually be what I really want to say. But gosh, like, would it actually fit into the scope of my business and what I'm currently offering right now? Right? Because that can feel a little edgy. So I want you guys to just feel into the edginess of that, of when we really choose to get vulnerable with ourselves and say, is this what I really would want to say to the world? That actually opens up so much for our own inner contemplation of how we can expand into the next expression of who we are. So just notice, is your stand of what you really want to say, is it different than what you are saying right now? Is there anything that changes? Is there anything that shifts? And if not, congratulations. And I would assume there's probably just a little something different, because a rebrand, it's not necessarily that it's not like we have to burn everything down and start from scratch, right? Like a rebrand is actually can just be a very, very subtle shift. It can be a subtle shift in what you really want to say, your message. It can be a subtle shift in the colors that you bring to the world. It can be a subtle shift. It can be a big shift into you change the name of your brand, right? Which creates a totally different kind of message. It could be big, and it could also be really subtle. And so let's just notice here, like, what is the rebrand that you want to give to the world? Because for me, I'm in the midst of a rebrand, but for anybody who's following me on social media, you probably wouldn't necessarily notice very much. My colors are staying the same. My brand name is staying the same. Like pretty much everything is the same, except for who I am now. Right. And I think that that's the subtle energetic shift that can happen in a rebrand. Like, yes, it can be a massive burn it all down, or it can just be a, hey, I'm here to take a more refined stand, right? Like I've learned so much up until this point, and now I just want to refine things to really reflect who I am fully today. So let's see here. Yes. Zena says, celebrate life every day. I love that. Donnie says, mindfully care for your children, yours, those close to you, because your influence to them will definitely change the world. I love that so much, Donnie. That fits so well into this day, especially, right? It's like we're honoring mothers, but through honoring mothers, we're also honoring all of the generations to come, as we are all caretakers. I love that so much. Maria says, I stand for celebrating each and every woman's unique essence as expressed in her absolute magnificence. I stand for calling this magic forward for all so they can live fully expressed, fulfilled, and expanded. I love this, Maria, and I know this about you, and I know that you are already the walking, living, breathing embodiment of this. My mom says, I stand that all people deserve respect and acknowledgement. Everyone flourishes if other people really listen and see them. I love that. Everyone flourishes when we see each other so fully. I love that so much, Mom. Thank you guys for sharing your voices here. All right, shall we share a little bit inside? Do a little inside behind the scenes.
Yes. So we'll start with our client, Balaj, and we'll go into his stand in a moment here. But first, as Carla brought him into his brand world.
Yeah. Hey, Dima, can you actually take a wide view of this real quick? Just want to look at like a wide view. Yes. So what you guys are seeing here behind the scenes is what we create in Influence called your signature style. And your signature style, it really is the full expression of your brand. We often take our clients through either it's a deep dive experience, whether in person or virtually. And we get to create their entirety of their brand. And so many of our clients at Influx are actually, they're already company owners. And so what we get to do for them is this subtle shift in they have grown so much, and now it's time to give the fullest reflection of who they are. So this is what we call a signature style. We're going to dive now into little pieces of the signature style. And, over time, you will want to start to choose to create something like this for yourself as well. So we're going to bring, we have only so much time here today. So we're going to bring you into different pieces of this, hopefully so that you can gain some inspiration, so you can go start to do this for yourself, so that you can bring this rebirth and rebrand into the world and into the online world. And really taking inspiration pieces so that you can really take it. So we're going to show examples so that you guys can get inspired, and then you can go out and do that probably also for yourself. And with our inspired invitation of some fun, free things that we're offering this summer, you can also do it more with us as well. So with that being said, we have here what, most people in the marketplace would call your mood board, right? And in Influex, we do call it your mood board, but we also call it your vision board. And why we call it your vision board, you guys know, there's a big wave out there of a big trend, and we all love to do it. It's getting a bunch of magazines and cutting out little pieces of magazines, putting them onto one big, beautiful board that creates what we call a manifestation board, right? You guys probably all out there know what a manifestation board, and if you don't, I highly recommend going and doing one. It's basically, cutting out little pieces of what you see for your life in the future, looking at it every day to give you this visual representation of what it is that you are choosing to create for yourself. And through that, it manifests into your life. And so we believe here at Influx and through FemGenius that your mood board actually becomes kind of like that manifestation board as well. And so it's two parts, right? It's the vision board of what it is that you're desiring to be, do, and have. And it also honors your present, who you are here today, and it honors your past of who you have been. And so when you are creating your mood board, what you want to start to think about as we're starting to create this next edition of our signature soul brand is we want to start to think about who I am becoming. Because we believe that as you choose who you are becoming, and then you're creating a sacred agreement with yourself to not just pretend like you're that person, but actually devote your energy and attention to it every single day to become that it actually creates who you are becoming in the here and the now. And so with this vision board, thinking about different words that really stand out to you. In human collective consciousness, there are different symbols that create and invoke different words. It's just passed down from generation to generation to generation, right? So let's do an example here. What would you guys think of, like a word? What would you think of if I said the word eagle, right? And I'm not going to wait for your responses. I'm going to give you the answer. You'd probably think of the word freedom, right? If I said the word lion, you'd probably think of the word courage, right? There are certain things that and not just animals, but different symbols will actually invoke within us. And so when we're creating and crafting a mood board, we're starting to look at those words, right? So if your words were like words like freedom and courage, we might use animals that represented that in your mood board. We might not. But also when we think about the diamond, right? That image of a diamond, we think about refinement. We can think about luxury, right? So you can see right off the bat that each and every one of these images that we brought together for our client Balazs actually invokes a certain feeling. And that word feeling is actually the most important piece here, is to choose not just how you want to feel, but here's the next part of it, guys. You want to choose how people feel when they're in your energy. Like, how do people feel when they're in your presence? How do you want people to feel when they come across, if they're just scrolling their Facebooks or they're scrolling their Instagrams, and all of a sudden one of your ads shows up or one of your posts shows up, if you're doing, regardless, organic or non-organic marketing, however it is that you show up online or people find your website, how do you want them to feel when they first lay eyes on your brand? So drop a couple words like that into the chat, guys. How do you want people to feel when they're in your presence? Now, another couple of things that I want to just shout out really quickly to mood board creation is that, there's typography and there's also the color palette, there's your logos. We won't go so deep into those, but what I want to really just take a stand for is that your colors get to be so unique to you. Your typography, your fonts get to also be so unique to you. If you can go to Champion real quick, Dima. Yes. Ooh, I'm seeing so many beautiful words here. I love it. Angela says peace, uplifted, and love. That makes so much sense for you, Angela. I feel that from you. Tatiana says safe, seen, loved, included. Yes. Dorina says bold, brilliant, bewitching. Ooh, yum. Donna says thorough and mindful. Donna, you are both of those. Absolutely. All right. So, we see here, this is another one of our clients, the Champion brand. I'm not even, as you can see, even with Bellage and Champion, I'm not even going to tell you guys what they do, right? Because when we design their brand, yes, of course, what they do is so important. But more than that, it's what feeling we are devoted to creating, that they're not just being, but they're also becoming. So we can go to their typography here.
And you can see kind of here, well, for Bellage, first with how the mood board translates into some of the visual world, and therefore the colors. And then with Champion, see how this translates into the colors. And we'll talk a little more about that in a moment. And your unique typography.
Yes. And so we like to always go in and find unique typography. We like to invite our clients to actually purchase and become the license owners of unique typography, and not just necessarily always just go into Google Fonts and find that. We love to find unique typography that really expresses who they are, which they can own in the marketplace. And this actually helps you to stand out even more. A great website for this is creativemarket.com. I use Creative Market for almost all of my clients to find different unique typographies. You guys can write that down. It's called creativemarket.com. Or Anya. This is Anya says inspired, empowered, nourished, and blessed, of course. Yes. So you can see here with Champion, we really found them a unique typography. And if you actually go to their website, you'll see that it fully, truly expresses as being this really cutting edge, unique, interesting brand. You can see these guys here. Unlock the power, right? So you can feel that in every.
You can see how the mood board, the aesthetics, the typography then translates into a beautiful website.
Yeah.
Rather than, so many people ask us with Influx, oh, how do you design what you do? And it's being really good at web design. And it's really, web design is just one of the many expressions of brand. And it all comes down to a refined brand.
You can go up again too, just to that photo of those guys too. When we did their brand, I actually did a coaching session with them around what actually to wear inside of their photo shoot as well, right? So it actually, your brand becomes all of it. Like these guys, because we created the brand that we did, they found blue and tan and gold chairs, right? It's like every part of their brand is now uniquely given to their web presence. And, they're all wearing, I invited them to all wear their different brand colors in unique ways that actually there's more than just one of those guys, right? It's not just one guy in a personal brand. So you see how your heart is to your body, like your brand is to your business. Like these two guys in the center, these are the founders, but the other guys that work with them, they're a part of the brand and they show up as that brand. It's that unique energy that moves out into the entire company culture. And so it's such a fun way to start to design your companies, your entrepreneurial endeavors, is to create it from having this unique brand that's based on who you are. So with that being said,
to come back to Bellage, we showed Bellage's, and we'll go into in a little bit here, the headlines from the heart. but your brand is your stand for champion. You see how the visual brand translates into unlock the power and really shows the possibility. With Balaj, when we saw that mood board, there was the dream life of freedom. And so his stand becomes, you're worthy of your dream life. And we're here to help you get there.
Maybe we can show Masa just real quick here. Right, so here's another one of our clients, Dr. Masa. She's a chiropractor turned just how do we even describe Masa? In fact, I won't describe what she does because you can see it and feel it, right? It's about becoming the miracle, becoming a miracle of healing for yourself. And she stands for empowering others to become the miracle of healing. And so as you can see with her brand, it's much lighter, but she also has this expression of her that, has this mystery. Like she has this beautiful soul essence that's kind of mysterious, but it's very bright and loving and beautiful. And so we wanted to just bring through all of her and her heritage, her identity of where she's come from. And so if you continue onwards here, maybe into her site.
Yes. And you kind of see the iconography from here. That Carla did a brilliant job with our design team of taking together Masa and the moon and the sun into a brand icon as the logo.
Yes.
And then seeing how that translates into the header, you're the miracle you've been looking for. Social and
in her social, exactly. And the second one there. Yeah. And so here's how her website came through, right? The brand of who she is. And, it's so fun getting to work with these clients and getting to really feel them. And then getting to bring through the feeling into the representation of their web presence. So as you guys see these different brands coming through, are you inspired at all to maybe shift up your mood board, your vision board, your colors, your fonts? Is there anything that you feel could actually bring more of who you are through? I will say, when it comes to our brands, often we are so close to our own genius. And because we're so close to our own genius, sometimes it's not as easy for us to define our own. I know for me, it's really amazing to have reflection points, right? For Dima right now, who's inside of his own rebrand, I'm a reflection point for him. I came into Influex and helped with the entirety of their rebrand because sometimes we're so close to our own genius that it's really powerful. So if you guys are going to do something like this, you can always share this webinar with your friends or your colleagues and kind of team up with others and say, hey, can we kind of like bounce ideas off of each other? Can we get an understanding? One thing I would love to ask each and every one of you guys to do is to come up with 3 things that you really love about yourselves. Like, what are your unique X factor? Like, what is the unique X factor that you are? And then how do you actually give that more and more and more to the world and portray like what is so lovable about you? In fact, I remember with Balaj, when I was doing his brand extraction, he actually went and texted, a whole community of his friends and people that were so close to him, asking them, hey, what do you actually love about me? Because that can give us a really great understanding into how people see us and how people feel in our energy. Right? So that could be a fun little thing that you can try out, is text some friends, people that you love, that you actually would really respect and honor their reflection of you, and ask them, what do you really love about me? And then get into contemplation as to how can I actually bring this into the physical representation of who I am.
Carla, would you be open to sharing behind the scenes a little bit of some of what you're doing in your rebrand with your Pinterest and the mood board and AI?
Yeah. I'm so happy to do that. And I just want to let everybody know that it's a messy process, right? Like rebranding ourselves can be messy. It's basically like a big brain dump of a bunch of what I love and putting it all into one place. And so I'll show you guys behind the scenes. And I also want to show you guys how I'm actually using AI at this particular time. I think that some people are like really on the one side of the fence that's like, oh, don't use AI. Like AI is taking us away from the fullest expression of our souls. And then there's the other side that's like, use AI, go all in. Like the world is changing. Let's get on board while we can. And I just want to bring us into this holistic experience of like, we can actually use AI to inspire the fullness of our souls. We can use AI as a tool to actually to bring more of ourselves out. And I'm going to show you guys how AI has helped me to create more and more and more of the physical representation of who I am here today. And it's very vulnerable, honestly, to share the behind the scenes like this. So thank you guys for holding space for a little vulnerability, and I'm excited and I'm happy to share. So let's go. All right. So as you guys can see, here's mine. And it's so, it's just, I've been working on it for a long time and it's messy and there's not all of the pieces put together yet. And it's something that I am just constantly going in when I feel that inspiration. And then I'm putting in and I'm bringing in more little plugs and more little opportunities to really continue to build upon it, right? Yes, I love that Akashic interface tool. Exactly. And so here we have, in Fem Genius, I invite women into what's called their next level feminine genius. And we call this in Fem Genius, we call this your avatara. It's really creating the future-oriented self of who we're choosing to become, and then making that agreement with ourselves that we're going to become her. She's your power character. And for those of you who are male embodied on this space or identify in whatever way you identify in, you can always change this word to be a powerful power character for who you are desiring and who you are becoming. And so Avatara is it's the Fem Genius Avatara that I'm designing here. And as you can see, in my mood board, right, it's beautiful, it's light, it's sensual, it's playful, it's creative. These are all words that come from my soul and come from what I actually love about myself and what others actually love about me. So you can see me here, I'm, in my bodysuit doing my performance art. You can see that there's, these sensual pieces of softness, and the lightness and the gold is just a reflection of me. If anyone meets me, they say, you feel yellow, you feel gold. And that is what I've always felt like. So it's an interesting thing to start to think that we have actually colors that portray who we are, right? So you can see here, I'm obsessed with stars. Anything that has to do with stars, I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with helping people to become stars. So I've put this star icon here. There's different animals that I have that represent different things to me, like flight. Here's the snow leopard. The snow leopard's the one that is only seen when it wants to be seen, right? So there's different aspects of my soul that come through these different experiences. I have this cool car and this cool, image of this woman riding this horse because it represents this essence of freedom, boundaryless, right? More stars. I have this, baths and saunas because I like womb-like spaces. I have this camera and this music studio here that are all in my brand colors, but they just show that creativity and that essence. And then I have, up here, I just have more of my artistic expression. Here I have so see how many mood boards I'm creating, but I'm creating them each very similarly, but a little bit different each one. And then here, I'm actually, every single one of these photos that you see, almost every single one of them, is all designed through, and except for this one and the image of the cat here, these are all designed through AI, through Midjourney. And if you guys are not familiar with Midjourney, it's basically an application that we can use to develop images from the mind. And so remember when I said that we all have a certain brand world that lives within us? Well, I've gone into Midjourney and actually started to develop the architecture of the brand world that lives within me. And someday I will create a home, I will create a piece of land that actually represents this architecture of this brand world. Maybe it's going to be my retreat center. Maybe it's going to be something I don't know yet. But what I can trust is that AI helps me to actually bring what's inside of me into an image. It helps me to see what it is that I'm seeing and feeling on the inside of me. And, I can do an entire next master class on just how to create these mood boards and these images and these brand worlds through AI. If you guys feel inspired by that, drop a yes into the chat, because we're always open to what you guys want to learn from us next. But I wanted to show you guys this just to really show you this representation of what lives inside of me and how it becomes my brand. But then it also becomes my manifestation board. It becomes my mood board. It becomes what I'm actually creating, because I believe each and every one of us is the designer of our destinies. And with these creative tools, we actually get to bring more than just who we are, but the entirety of our brand into our outer world. If I showed you around this room right now that I'm in, this is what I call my star studio room. It's a pure representation of all of these photos, right? It looks exactly like these photos, and because it feels like me and it's who I am. And I'm so into, AI. So I've created this AI kind of art of myself. And this is not an AI. This is just something else I created, but I love stars, right? And then over here, I just have a lot of the taglines, which we're going to get into next. And I'll pass it over to Dima in just a minute here, because this is a perfect transition, is that I have these iconic statements that are just, they feel like who I am and they feel like what I stand for. And so thus I'm able to give them to the world as my messaging from the heart, right? The feminine frequency of freedom, fortune, fulfillment, flow, foundation, and fuck yes, right? Here's another one: turned on, turned up, lit up, or turned on, tuned in, lit up. It's another one that I say often. Your purpose is your presence. Your mission is your mastery. You are the designer of your destiny, the birther of worlds. And then here I have a whole list of all of the words that I want people to feel when they are in my presence, right? So that's what I asked you guys to kind of describe before. And I saw so many of your beautiful words come through is, how do you want people to feel in your presence? Desire, imagination, turned on, light, heart, destiny, beauty, love, freedom, play, purpose, presence, activation. And then you can go over into my mood boards, right? And you can kind of feel that lightness, playfulness, creativity, right? So it's just an interesting way that we can actually, I don't think I've ever seen anybody really do brand in this way, where it's actually really choosing to know that our brand is creating the full scope of not just who we were, not just who we are, but who we are becoming and who we are choosing to make a sacred agreement with, that we become here today. And so with that being said, I'll pass it over to Dima to move into the world of messaging from the heart, so that you guys can start to really create your taglines. These iconic statements that are so unique to who you are. So before I drop it over to Dima, drop a yes into the chat if this feels inspiring. Drop a yes into the chat if you are feeling like you are going to go and start to find these words for yourself, really design these words for yourself, and start to design and refine your next edition, your next expression of your brand, to really fully reflect who you are and how you desire for people to feel in your presence, which is what actually allows you to be the most magnetic version of yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm seeing all your yeses come through. So beautiful.
Where Carla's strength, and we both are so strong with words, as you can see, and where Carla's strength is bringing things into beauty visually. I've spent so much of my life cultivating language and words. And so even my own personal brand and artist name is Forward, Forward, moving the world forward with words. And so while you are building a multidimensional brand as an expression of all of who you are with so many gifts and unique identities and talents as part of that, you actually get to bring it into a statement or a handful of statements that define your stand, that we call headlines from the heart. And the great thing about headlines from the heart is you don't have to figure out constantly about how to write the most compelling and high converting headline. Now, you do want for your offers, of course, great copywriting and high converting copy. And rather than thinking of what's the formula, you think of what's the essence of what do I really want to say? And that could be an iconic identity statement. We'll go through some examples of those. It's like, who are you? That could be, what do you believe? What world are you bringing forth? What's your stand? What do you believe is possible? What do you do in a way that translates the world that you're bringing forth or who you're serving? And so we'll go through some examples of these pretty quickly because they're brief. And chances are when you see them, even within a few seconds, you'll understand so much of what that brand or that individual stands for. And it's memorable messaging. So very likely you'll remember, even by seeing it for a few seconds, of who they are and what they stand for and what they're bringing forth. And you'll quickly see above the fold on a site, am I in the right place for me? And all of that can be accomplished with a beautiful headline from the heart that you don't have to think about so much as feel into and play with. So we'll go through a few examples. One of our favorite brands in 2020 to build was Lewis Howes. So for Lewis Howes, his statement is, you were born for greatness. He even has this one word, greatness. Lewis Howes is about greatness. But this belief that you were born for greatness. And then there's more of the, here's what you're here for. Optimize your life, optimize your health, optimize your business. And once you read this, you're like, oh, that either resonates or it doesn't. I think for most who go to his brand, it resonates, and that's why they're here. Let's look at Life on Fire. It's the promise. Unleash your God-given potential. It's Nick and Megan Unsworth. Unleash your God-given potential. You can see many people trademark what we end up helping them come up with. So unleash your God-given potential. It speaks into possibility and desire. Let's talk about love. So a couple of examples of love. Lisa Shield helps you with finding the guardian of your soul. Now, it's not a headline that's, hey, learn the best dating advice for women who have already been working on this and struggling for a long time to find the right man and so on and so forth. It's find the guardian of your soul. What do you really want to say? What does she really stand for? And what is possible? And then her story demonstrates that. We mentioned with Lewis, the one word was greatness. You were born for greatness. Joe Polish, one of my favorite brands, has been a mentor for many years. And so getting to work on Joe's and the Genius Network brand really stands for one thing, connection. What's the one word that Joe is connected. And his whole story is about the path to connection. Genius Network is considered a connection network. He has a documentary called Connected. So we get one headline with him, one word headline, connected. This is who he is. And then we get to have little Joeisms. We have to play with, sometimes it's alliteration, sometimes it's acronyms. In this case, acronym, what's in it for them, ELF, easy, lucrative, and fun. So you get to be an artist and play with this. An event, abundance amplifier. This is an iconic identity statement. I see Kevin's on here. Kevin actually came up with and birthed this one with Alex. So abundance amplifier is the first music festival mastermind that blends biohacking, business, and breakthroughs. So again, you see the alliteration and is the first, right? Iconic identity. Sometimes you can have it be a quote you frequently say. For us, it's your greatest influence comes through your fullest expression. For Yannick, who's also another mentor, your greatest work never feels like work. And he's also about lighting 1,000 suns that light another 1,000 suns. The company headline then translates to one maverick entrepreneur can transform an industry. 1,000 together can transform the world. Invitation and question. Are you one of them? And if you think this might be just for the transformational space or masterminds or coaching, this applies to one of the oldest industries that we can imagine. It's been around thousands of years. So we've worked with a lot of lawyers and law firms lately. And Al Reen with Hey Law does employment and sexual harassment law. And the trademark tagline there is, when you stand up for yourself, we stand with you. Communicates what they do, communicates who they do it for, and so much of the why. And then if you read her story, you'll see why stands with you. But when you first read this as somebody who's going through something that wants to stand up for themselves, but wants also the hero and somebody supporting them in that, wants to be empowered, when you stand up for yourself, we stand with you. So you feel the love that's coming through that, fierce love. And yet another law firm example, war might seem like the opposite of love. Sometimes also an expression of a headline from the heart, right? Shannara, we go to war for your family. To big insurance companies, you're just a claim number. To most attorneys, you're just a settlement number. To us, you're the reason we never stop fighting. And so even in the world of legal and law, where it is sometimes a fight and a battle, you can bring in so much heart. And we'll do one more in the financial industry, and then we'll come right back to a loved one, and then we'll share our vision for what's next. In the financial world, returns beyond riches. He finally found an investment firm that's real, relatable, refreshing, and then goes into this concept of the experience economy. So you can see how that's so different than, and of course their numbers and their credibility is all there, but you see how that's so different from just talking about returns, just talking about winning legal cases, just talking about a mastermind network, just talking about a faith-based movement. But it's the expression of that movement in just sometimes a single word, single headline. Take John Benson as somebody who is one of the world's best copywriters. And Kevin is also on here, really helped birth this one for John, of be unignorable. And it's a promise and an identity. Command the world with your words. So again, very different from a statement of, I help entrepreneurs write some of the most high converting copy. Very different to be compelling and really make a stand with your brand. And we'll end with one loved one, Matthew Hussey, also one of our favorite clients who we've learned so much from and gotten to serve. Does dating advice for women. It's kind of a celebrity in the space. And it was get more than just dating advice. Fall in love with your life. And then an invitation to a conversation, which also quadrupled his conversions on his site. And so there's so many more examples of these that we can bring out. But ultimately, the question for you is, what do you really want to say? And so as we go into our vision, would love to hear from you. What do you really want to say? And it could be something you shared earlier, or who are you in a way that is unique to you? Favorite quote of yours. And I'm giving you different ideas because the idea isn't to come up with a headline right now, but it's to start generating the ideas and thinking of it through the lens of writing a headline from the heart, rather than the lens of what is going to be the best, converting or speak to my audience in the best way, or all of that, because that will come through when you channel through your heart the message of your brand. Love it, Maria. My coaching, get unstuck, be unstoppable, soar. I love the soar in there because that brings an image. Ooh, I can feel that. Zena, word, resilience. Yes, I love this. Sometimes it's one word. As Carla made the invitation earlier, you drop in some words, just simply words that express your essence, things you stand for, what you believe, how you want people to feel in your presence.
Another thing that I would, invite and recommend is that while you're out in the field, like literally working with your clients, if you're doing a live video and inspiring people or whatever the intention is behind that, is to notice what you notice. Like, go listen to yourself. Are there certain things that you say over and over and over again? Because for me, I want to just make a stand that in the rebirthing process of your rebrand, it's something that develops over time, right? Like your messaging from the heart, your iconic statements, they come over time of you choosing to say something in a unique way that will help your clients, your audience understand something, right? So there was, when I created Your Purpose is Your Presence, it was because I was actually in the process of developing Signature Soul Brand. And I was developing Signature Soul Brand because I had been searching for my purpose for so long and trying to figure out what my purpose was. And finally came to the realization that my purpose could not be outside of myself, right? Because what would happen if my purpose was just to do branding, right? And to be a brand director. If that was my purpose, and then all of a sudden, for some reason, I couldn't do that anymore, right? Like something happened in my life that I couldn't be a brand director anymore. Well, would I lose my purpose? Right. So I started to recognize and realize that my purpose couldn't have been outside of myself. It was something that was intrinsically motivated within my inner world. And over time, that's where my statement, and now I even have created a song about it called Your Purpose is Your Presence, because I really recognize that our brand and our purpose is who we are more than what it is that we do. And so I want to just invite you guys, as you're, you're out in your own individual field and you're serving your people, start to notice the unique ways that you feel about something. Start to notice the unique way that you say something. Start to notice the unique way that you're showing up and delivering a message, because that unique way that you say it, because so many people probably say something similar, but it's the unique way that you say it that actually is your message from the heart, right? Yes, Maria, my movement, you are magnificence in motion. Set your soul on fire and live your diamond delicious life. You see how even just in that statement that Maria just brought through, how many images come to mind? Like so many different images, and a feeling comes to mind as well. And so that's so beautiful. And what a great statement from the heart.
And I love, Maria, the distinction of, you said, for my coaching, right? That's an offer. And you made more of a promise: get unstuck, be unstoppable, soar. So the promise with the emotion and feeling in it. Then for my movement, and I love that because that's a distinction that was on here, but in the examples we didn't make, is this can come from your movement and for your movement. So you are, and it's the you are statement. It's what you believe that somebody that you're talking to and serving is. You are magnificence in motion. Set your soul on fire. Live your diamond delicious life. So I love that because I can feel the movement in that of so many people that are part of your community or attracted to your community, experiencing themselves as magnificence in motion, setting their souls on fire and living their diamond delicious lives. Yes.
So in these last few minutes that we have here together, we'd love to future orient with you guys, right? And something that we're going to invite you guys to do is really step into your future self. I'm going to give a little reminder here that I've created you a little activation visualization experience called Rebirth to Rebrand Visualization and Activation. It's in your email. If you've registered for this, then it'll be in your email. And I'm going to invite you guys, if you have a moment sometime today or soon, tomorrow perhaps, grab a pair of headphones, make a little nest for yourself, put on an eye mask, and listen to that or future-oriented visualization that's going to invite you through the birthing process. And, Dima and I are so excited to kind of speak into our vision of what it is that we're creating. We've decided we're going to team up because this way of creating and bringing heart into business is something that we believe is so necessary and so needed on this planet. And I can actually feel from all of you guys who are here that that's a big part of your mission too, is to bring your heart and to bring your soul into business and to bring the fullest expression of yourself into your brand. And so, Dima, if you want to dive on in here, let people know, what are we up to?
So our vision, as we shared in the beginning, and as Carla just shared, is a world where the heart is brought into business, where you get to be the fullest expression of who you are in your brand, and where that actually creates abundance for you and creates the beautifully expressed world that we desire. And so to bring forth that vision, while we've been doing this with clients at a one-on-one or very high level for tens of thousands of dollars, and we get to serve a lot through that because we serve an individual who often reaches thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of people. We've really wanted to now share this with the world in both a really accessible way and a free way, like we're doing today, because we want to see a beautifully expressed world. So the first part of that will be bringing Signature Soul Brand as a teaching and with examples and depth as a community to the world. We'll be revealing that this summer, starting with, and what we're inviting you all to join with us for free and have a lot of fun and vibrancy with, is the Signature Soul Brand Summer Soul Series that will start on summer solstice, June 20th, 21st. And it'll be something we're doing live together to help get you in the energy of and start to birth your Signature Soul Brand. Ultimately, we're creating what will be a course and a community, and refining that. Rebirthing what Carla already has as a course, Signature Soul Brand, rebirthing Signature Soul Brand into the world with all of the lens and experience that we've had through continuing to bring this forth with both these high-level clients and then the many dozens of hours of co-creation that we've been doing to refine the process to make it easy for anybody to implement on their own. Next part of our vision is, so it's bringing that to the world. And the next part of our vision is to bring that to the people who are creators and practitioners and in service to others, and helping them take the Signature Soul Brand process not only for themselves, but helping to bring that forth through others, whether that's as coaches, as brand directors, as designers, as copywriters, as interior designers, to really help somebody be the guide on the side and have mastery over tapping into somebody's soul and then expressing that through whatever it is their unique gift is for that individual. So whether that's creating a signature space as an interior designer, creating a visual brand as a brand director or designer, doing the words, or being a Signature Soul Brand coach. And so that is called Signature Certified. And we don't have quite a timeline on exactly when that will be revealed yet, but it'll be through the course and community this summer. We'll be just taking on a handful of individuals to start who first embody and do this for themselves. Because embodiment is always the first step, and then desire to serve in that way through their unique gifts. Those are things we're birthing and rebirthing this summer. And ultimately behind the scenes, we're working on a book the book of Signature Soul Brand, the book and retreats. And so as promised, there's nothing for us to sell you here today on this webinar, this class, but to share our hearts and souls of what we've been up to and hopefully support you in your journey. And we'll continue to do so. So really, it's stay tuned with us on social, on email, support us with this movement by sharing and inviting anybody you think should be there for anybody you think could greatly benefit from expressing more of who they are to the world into the Signature Soul Brand Summer Series and have a lot of fun in the process with us.
Because how amazing would it be to see a world where everyone felt comfortable, safe, and supported to be the fullest expression of themselves. And not just to be the fullest expression of themselves, but to create that as a business, to create that as a company, to create that as your movement. How amazing would it be for every single person on this planet to be fully expressed and in their movement of that full embodiment of their expression? To me, when I get the visualization of what a world could look like where everyone was fully expressed, that's the kind of world that I want to live in. And that's the kind of world that I take a stand for. And that's the kind of world that I'm going to live every day fully committed to bringing forward until the day that I take my last breath. And so we're just here simply to invite each and every one of you to imagine this with us, to imagine that when you create your full expression in the world and you proudly stand in who you are and what you're here to gift to the world, that you give so much permission for others to do the very same thing. And that is the world that I'm so excited to rebirth with each and every one of you. And it always, always, always starts with us first. And so if you feel this empowerment, this excitement, this inspiration to fully birth the fullest expression of who you are as first your brand, and then perhaps the next level of your business, your company, and perhaps even your movement, I'm going to invite you to drop a yes into the chat. Are you willing to say yes and commit to becoming the fullest expression of who you are as your personal, profitable, and brilliantly beautiful brand in the world? Yes, I'm seeing your yeses come through. Absolutely. Yes. And just by you saying yes here, remember that you're sending a signal. You're sending a signal out into the entirety of the universe, telling the universe and all of the entirety of the universe in conspiring for your greatest and highest good. You're sending a signal to that universe saying, I'm ready and I'm in and I am committed to giving the fullest expression of myself to the world. And so I'm just so deeply celebrating each and every one of you, because I know the courage that it takes to do that. And I know that each and every one of us gets to do that through supporting each other and saying yes to each other as well. So beautiful, you guys. So beautiful. Dima, you would like to share a little poem for us?
Yes.
Yes.
So as we wrap up, consider this the wrap up as a wrap up. I am forward, moving the world forward with words, FORWORD. A couple of my biggest heroes are Steve Jobs as an entrepreneur and Richard Branson as an entrepreneur. And very early on, I grew up on Eminem and some other favorite rappers. So this is imagine if Eminem is channeling Steve Jobs and Richard Branson. It's a piece called Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish.
Should we put on a little We put on a little music for the background of it.
We
Right.
absolutely could.
I can try to do it right quickly, just
Yes.
a few seconds
Yeah,
here.
maybe you do a brief guiding people onto their stage on the last day of their lives. And
Okay, just one moment. Let me just make sure that we can hear the audio here. Yeah, how do we go? Can we
I
hear
can hear it. Yep. How's my voice over the audio?
I can hear your voice.
Great.
Audio loud. About like that. That sounds good. Audio's too loud. Let me bring it down just a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Give us a yes in the chat. You can hear us.
Yes.
Okay, great. Beautiful. Yes. All right. So beautiful ones in this moment. I'm going to invite you, if you're not driving or operating heavy machinery, my invitation for you is to close your eyes here now. With your eyes closed right here, right now, let us imagine in our mind's eye. Imagine in our mind's eye that right here, right now, find ourselves in a room. In this room, we see all of our loved ones around us, our family members and our friends care for us and we deeply care for. Each and every one of our family and friends, and they're smiling at us because we're standing on a stage. This stage that we stand on is the stage that we're going to give our message to the world. Because we know that this day, right here, right now, this day is the last day of our lives. And that we have just one more day to fully give our message to the world. What do you desire to impart to the world? The message that you desire to give. As you look around the room, you know that you decorated this room in a very particular way that celebrates and honors you as who you are and what your life is represented. Maybe you notice that there's different colors around the room. There's an aesthetic, there's a smell, there's a very unique look to this room. You know that this room is designed as your brand essence and your brand. Feel this in your heart. Feel this message and beautiful question who you are being delivered. All of those that you love here now. Breathe into this message that you give to the world.
Take a deep breath. Deepest one you've taken all day. Release it. One more. You never know the last breath you will take. So face death every day, because in the face of death, everything falls away, leaving only what is truly important to you, your music, your story, your truth, your beauty, your soul, what you do as unity forms within you and your music is pouring from you, till every last bit of your fuel and your courage is used. And even when it feels like your hustle's been useless, just remember that nothing is useless. And there's a reason that you've been suffering through this, because it's something that moves you to remember the truth that you got nothing to lose and nothing to prove. So just do what you love and love what you do. Have fun at it too. Trust in your music. Give up your excuses. Stay hungry. Stay foolish.
Feel these words resonating through your beingness. Hungry, foolish. Move without your excuses. Go out into the world and gift your message. Gift your signature soul essence into the world. The entirety of the universe conspires for you to give this message and your full soul's essence to the world. Take one more really good, deep, full breath in and out at your own pace. And slowly beginning to open your eyes. Thank you to each and every one of you who has chosen to spend a little bit of your Sunday, a little bit of your Mother's Day with us here. We are so grateful and feel so blessed. You're going to stay in touch with us. You're already in our scope and in our world. Find us on Instagram. I'm Genius. You can find us at Influencer Sites or Love. And let's stay in touch. Anything else you'd like to add, Dima?
Just the last words from Steve Jobs through me to you. Stay hungry, stay foolish.
All right, beautiful one, in the chat here now. I'd love you to add one word or one sentence that you are going to integrate and bring into your life, your brand, moving out from this space. What's one thing that you want to capture from our time here today? Let us know in the chat. One thing you are wanting to the words. And praise. Diana says soul oriented. Yes, I love it. Renee says authenticity. Beautiful. So as you write in your words, know that you'll go gift to the world. You'll go gift this integration. What it is that you are taking is your gift from this space. Your sacred agreement to go give. Rebirth as. Beautiful. All right, my friends. So thank you so much for being with us today. And it's an honor and a blessing. Blessings on your journey. Bye now.